Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm, and I'm all the way down here, by the way. Hi. I had to kind of shrink my face for the content. There's a lot of stuff to get through in this presentation, so let's go ahead and get started. So, there are 6 main core values you need to be able to follow in my classroom. The first 3 are our school core values: integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. I expect you to follow and model and incorporate those core values into your everyday life, including while you're in my classroom. But underneath those, we have other core values that are specific to my classroom. They are be professional, be responsible, and be respectful. And we're going to talk about what I mean by each of those 3 in the next couple of slides. Integrity first, service before self, excellence in all we do. You're going to learn about those core values as you go through UMA, and you have, those lectures by your flight advisors or by me or whomever, right? These other 3 are more specific to my class. So let's get into it. First, be professional. So in my mind, a professional is on time to class every day. You wear the uniform with pride. You use yes, sir, no, sir, please, thank you. You use kind language. You don't blame or complain or make excuses for your behavior. And you also understand that you need to be in class as much as you possibly can. So if you're using the hall pass, too extensively, you're gone too long, you're gone every day, that's kind of an issue. So we need to make sure that we're in class as much as we possibly can be. So my classroom should be a professional environment. It doesn't mean we can't have fun. Doesn't mean we can't tell jokes and goof off. And I've got toys and stuff to play with and all that fun stuff. But we need to be professional in the way we act toward each other. We need to be professional in the way we think about, what we're doing day to day. All of your work that you submit should be professionally produced, even if it's something that's not necessarily a professional subject. If you're in one of my design classes and you're, photoshopping a picture of Godzilla fighting Nicki Minaj, right? That's not a really professional assignment, but do it to the best of your ability and be professional in your presentation. Make sure that everything that you write is free of spelling, grammar, syntax errors. Make sure that it's all school appropriate, right? Don't try to... Some of my assignments give you a lot of wiggle room in terms of how you represent yourself. Make sure all of your jokes and comments are school appropriate. And make sure that you can reflect your best effort with everything that you do. When you communicate with me, either in a written way or spoken, make sure that it's courteous, concise, effective. You're getting exactly what you need from the conversation. If you send me an email, make sure that there's a subject line. Make sure that the subject line has something to do with the body of the email. Make sure that there are no spelling or grammar errors. Make sure you give me all the information I need. Remember, I teach a bunch of different classes at 2 different campuses. And so if you email me, please say, this is Cadet Smith from, Camp Williams. I am in your A2, business office specialist class. I had a question about the assignment for this week, right? Give me the information, right? I don't need your entire life story in an email, but, give me the information that I need. Treat this classroom like it's your workplace. Interact with the other students in this class as if you would interact with coworkers. Interact with me as if you would interact with your boss, right? Again, we can have fun. We can enjoy our time together, but we need to keep it school appropriate. We need to make sure that we're not swearing. We're using school appropriate language. We're using proper grammar when we're speaking. And we're not, being unnecessarily abrasive, right? So just professional behavior. That's the expectation. Next, be responsible. Responsibility in my mind means setting high standards for your work. Never turning in a rough draft, completing your assignments on time every time, taking control of your own files, and never settling for good enough. So essentially, as you go through life, you're going to make a series of choices. Everything you do is a choice in some way. Responsibility means that you make the right choice more often than you make the wrong choice, right? And we all understand that there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. There's a good choice and a bad choice, right? This duality of life concept. And the people who choose the right over the wrong, more often than not, are the ones who are seen as responsible. In this class, I want you to choose to actually give me a real effort on each assignment you complete. Use your class time effectively so that you are not goofing off or wasting time. Turning in your assignments on time, and making sure that you look at your assignments with a critical eye before you submit them. Everything you submit to me should be finished. It should be ready for me to grade. If you turn in half of an assignment, you're going to get half the points. If you give me 5 minutes worth of effort on an assignment, that's going to be reflected in your grade. I need to see some effort. I want to see that you tried something new, that you did something that kind of stretched your abilities and you really put some effort in. That's what I'm looking for. Here's the important thing to remember about your success in my class. It is completely up to you. It's completely up to you. Your effort is what determines your grade in this class, right? You will not be able to walk out of this class saying, I'm failing because Mr. Storm doesn't like me. For 2 reasons. 1, I like all of you. Well, you don't like me. I love you, right? I like you all. I love you all. I want you all to do well. I want you all to pass. I would love to have a conversation with my boss about why every student got an A in my class, right? I'd love to have that conversation. So it's not about me holding you back, right? I'm giving you everything you need, and I'm doing my job, which is grading your work and giving you honest feedback and telling you how to improve. It's no one else's responsibility to make sure you are successful in my class other than you, right? If you succeed, that's your success. If you fail, it's not your parents' fault. It's not my fault. It's not, the president's fault. It's yours, right? You have to own that. Your effort is what makes you successful. So take that responsibility. Take responsibility for your own life and your own academic or your own academic future, and make the choices you know you need to make, even if they're hard to make, right? I know you'd rather play video games in class than, work on an assignment that seems boring to you. Make yourself do the right thing, okay? Also, one other note, responsibility also means making sure that you don't fall victim to just random acts of destruction. Here's what I mean by that. If you are working on a project and you save it on the hard drive in the computer lab and you don't have any redundancies or backups, you can reasonably expect for that file to be deleted or corrupted or something to happen to it before you can turn it in. It's happened way too many times for me to count. So save your work on the cloud, on Google Drive, put it on a thumb drive, a flash drive. I have 2, right? On my keys, you can put a flash drive around your lanyard that you have your ID on, and save your work there. Again, you can put it on your Microsoft OneDrive if you want. I don't care, but back up your files, okay? If you don't, you're gonna lose them. All right, so let's be responsible with our files as well. Okay, be respectful. So, respectful in my class means you're not bringing in food or drinks into the classroom. It is a computer lab, so if you bring in, spaghetti bolognese and you get it all over the keyboard, then not only are you ruining that keyboard for you, you're ruining it for everybody else, okay? Do not bring food or drinks into my classroom unless it's water in a sealed container, right? It can't just be a cup of water. Like bring, like a Hydro Flask or something. I don't care. But nothing else other than that, right? Also clean up after yourself. At the end of class, pick up any mess that you've made. Don't leave scraps of paper and trash all over the place. Because if you made the mess and you don't clean it up, someone else has to. You're not being respectful to that person's time because they have to pick up after you, right? Don't make a negative impact on the world, right? Keep your hands to yourself. When you're sitting in class, don't shove and push the person next to you. Don't play with their computer, right? Don't be a nuisance on other people's time. There are people in this classroom trying to learn, even if you are not, right? So don't disrespect them and make it harder for them to be successful. Use the computers for learning, nothing else. If you use my computers to do anything other than learning a material, either for my class or for another, you run the risk of causing all kinds of problems, right? You could lose your ability to use computers at the school, which will make it really difficult for you to complete the work in my class. Or you may, get a virus or, affect the computer in a way that takes my time and someone else's time. We have to fix the computer and do all kinds of things. Again, be respectful to the equipment itself as well as the people around you. Don't distract others. Again, don't make it more difficult for them to learn, okay? Life sucks sometimes. It's hard, right? And sometimes we want to make our bad feelings on the inside. We want other people to feel those bad feelings as well. And so we want to take all of these things that we're struggling with and externalize them and make other people's lives more difficult. And it's harder to be a teenager now than it was when I was a teenager. I mean, you guys have to deal with a lot of things that I never had to deal with. So I get it. You're going to have a bad day. You can expect me to have bad days as well. What I won't do and what you shouldn't do is I won't allow my bad day to make your day worse. Okay? I'm not going to allow my bad feelings or my grumpiness or my, just checked outedness to make your job harder. Right? Don't make messes. Don't bother the people around you. Don't make it harder for them to learn. And just generally understand that you, through your behavior, affect the world around you. And other people exist. You should not have a negative impact on other people's lives. You should have a positive impact. You should want to make everyone else's life better as opposed to worse. So use that in my classroom, right? If you're being disrespectful, you are not following the core values of our class. Using your time effectively. Remember, this is your class time, not mine, okay? You can use this class however you see fit, as long as you're being productive. I want you to be doing things that you can sell to me as productive. So, first and foremost, you need to work on your assignments for my class. That is your number one responsibility in my classroom. I've had students tell me, I do all your assignments at home, and then whenever I come to class, I just use that as time to just hang out. That is not okay. Use my class time to do my assignments in my class. Then, when you're done, if you're ahead of the schedule, then you can use class time to work on assignments for other classes, right? If those two things are complete, meaning you've completed every assignment for my class and you've completed every assignment for all of your other classes, then you can start looking for other opportunities to learn. You can learn a new skill online. You can practice a skill you already have, drawing, writing, writing a novel, writing some computer code, making a video game, whatever, right? You can also bring a book to class and read, or you can do literally anything else that's productive as long as, again, remember, you've completed all the work for my class and you have no other assignments to complete in your other classes as well. Now remember, I can look at your grade. If I'm in class and it's the second or third week of the term and I look over and you're doing something that is not my work, it's not work for my class, and it's not work for another class, I may take a quick peek at your grades, see, see if what you're doing is really what you should be doing. And if you are missing assignments in my class or in other classes, I may come redirect you to do something else. All right. And don't be offended. I'm trying to help you to be more responsible. Right. And so that's part of my job, is helping to redirect your behavior whenever it's going in a place it shouldn't. So remember, number one, work for my class. Number two, work for your other classes. I don't know why I went thumb and then two fingers. Thumb, that's a weird way to do it. Anyway, those are the top two things you need to work on. After that, you can find other opportunities to learn. Cell phone use. When you enter the classroom, you are going to put your cell phone in that fancy cell phone holder I have, either by the door or wherever else. It's toward the front of the classroom, toward the door. You are not allowed to use your cell phone in class. It's just you're not allowed to have it, right? You're not allowed to have it, not allowed to use it. Now, your first offense is going to be a class 1 violation, an email home to your parents, and I will confiscate your phone for at least that class period, for the rest of that class period. If it happens again, then I'll take your phone and I'll probably deliver it to the office, and you can pick it up from there at the end of the day. If this continues to be a problem, then I will take your phone to the office and your parents will have to come get your phone. They won't release it to you, right? So let's make sure that this isn't a problem. I don't have any grudges against cell phones. Like, a cell phone didn't like kill my family members or anything like that. I'm fine. I have a cell phone, right? I like cell phones, but you don't need a cell phone to do the work of my class. And so there's no reason for you to have one out, right? If your parents need to contact you, they can call the office and the office can call you down. Okay. You don't need to take phone calls in my class. You don't need to use your phone for any assignments. So phones can go in that pouch up in the front. Music. I am the kind of person I need to listen to music while I'm working or I just can't focus. Some people I'm sure some of you are a lot like me. You need to listen to music. Now, you may not want to listen to my music. You may not like my music, even though my playlist is the best playlist on Spotify. But if you don't want to listen to my music, that's okay. You can listen to your music. Every desk in the room has a pair of headphones. You can bring your own headphones as well if you don't want to use somebody else's. You can put on the headphones and listen to music in my class. Now, here are some considerations. You are not allowed to use video, meaning don't go to YouTube and look up music videos, because those can get a little bit inappropriate. Plus, they're taking attention away from what you should be doing. So no video. And they take up a lot of bandwidth, right? So no video. Do not disturb others. If your music is too loud, I may tell you to turn it down, right? The person next to you may not want to hear the music that you're listening to, all right? Remember the cell phone policy. Right? Some of you are going to ask, can I listen to music on my phone? Well, your phone is over in the pouch on the wall. Well, I have Bluetooth headphones. Okay. You're not allowed to get up and go to your phone and play with it in the middle of class. So, I mean, figure out the math there, right? I would recommend, if you have music you want to listen to, put it on your flash drive, right? Put it on your flash drive, and then plug your flash drive into the computer, and then you can have a whole playlist there you can listen to during class. Or, find a streaming service you really like that isn't blocked by the school's network. And if you're spending too much time playing around with picking the perfect song, like, oh man, I really need like the perfect Lil Pump song to get me through the next 10 minutes of this class, then I might, hey, come on, let's get to work. If I see you spending more time on Spotify than you are on watching my videos or doing the work, then I'm probably going to redirect you to do something more productive. All right, and finally, how do you ask questions? So you're gonna reach a point in the class where you get stuck. You're just not going to know what to do, or my instructions aren't going to be clear, or whatever, right? So this is the order I want you to follow. This doesn't mean you can't ask me questions. Please ask questions. But I want you to have gone through this process first. And I'm going to ask you, hey, have you done the thing? Have you right? I'm going to see if you've followed this process, because it's really important that you learn how to find the information you need instead of relying on me to answer all of your questions, right? Most of the time when someone asks a question, it's already answered by the learning materials. Now, some of you don't learn by watching videos or reading articles. Sometimes information just gets overlooked. I totally get that. You're never going to get yelled at from me because you asked a question, but I do want you to follow this process first. Okay. So if you're stuck, first, I want you to read the what and why and how for that week, the what, why, how for that week on that week's homepage. And I want you to watch that weekly introduction video for the whatever it is you're working on, right? Read the lessons, watch the videos, interact with all of the content for that week. All right. So review all the learning materials to see if you missed something. If after doing all of that, if you're still confused, if you still don't understand, then ask your question. If I'm in the room with you, you can just raise your hand or, hey, Mr. Storm, come here, I got a question, or whatever, and I'll come over there and help you. If another student is close to you and you feel like they might have the answer, you can ask them as well. You can talk in my class. I don't need the class to be silent all the time, right? You guys can work together on assignments, that kind of stuff. I'm totally fine with that. If I'm not in the room and you still want to talk to me, you still want to ask me, I have a headset for every class or every desk, and it has a microphone on it, right? Headset with a microphone. Grab a headset, plug it into the computer, go to the Google Meet link on the home page of the Canvas course, and click that link. I'm in that meeting all day, and students can jump in and out of that meeting. Anytime they have questions and want me to cover things, I can walk you through stuff on that meeting. The reason why we use Google Meets is because it's online. You can share your screen. I can share my screen, and we can talk realistically one-on-one, and I can have that meeting open all day. If all else fails, let's say you're doing this stuff at home and it's the middle of the night, I'm not going to be on that Google Meet link, right? So you can send me an email and I'll get to you within the next business day. Okay? So that's how you can get help with anything that you're stuck on. All right. If you have any questions for me, again, follow this process, but I'm always available on email, dstorm@utahmilitaryacademy.org. After this video, go on to the next thing, and then you will have a quiz on this content. So on this video and the previous video you just watched. And that is going to be your week's worth of work for the first week. Okay, I'm rambling at this point, so I'm going to let you guys go. I'll see you later. Thanks for paying attention.